Alright, now that we got the thrusting tip there and the handle prepped, we go on to taping. I recommend using as minimum taping as possible due to the weight of the tape does add up rather quick-like. So when doing this, once again, for more reinforced thrusting tip, I add 2 cross layers of the red, because I'm using red as my edge and designated thrusting color. That gets the base of the thrusting tip. Then I move to the black for the blade itself, and all you do with that is long strips down the entire length, and as you're doing it, smooth it out, get it all secured on there fairly well. And when you add your second piece, I recommend about a 1/4 inch of overlap, give or take. This isn't exact, but the more tape you have built up in one area, the softer your blade will hit when you're hitting armor, which will account for possibilities of people not noticing the blow as well or feeling that it was a little bit off. It'll feel like a padded shot when it really wasn't padded if you get more than 1 or 2 layers of tape hitting in one spot. So now that we got this, and a little gap like that's actually not a bad thing to deal with, because when we're taking the edge line, which is simply taking a half strip of standard duct tape, it will cover up that one small gap that we had there. Flip it over to parallel on the other side. And now we have that portion done. Now to give it a nice flush and clean look at the top, I take another segment of red and around the top, just about 1 layer of red. And then also for the bottom down here, I do this both to give it a more flush, clean look, as well as to actually add some more handle weight. I prefer a little more handle weight in mine. And then, once again for looks, because I actually care about that, when getting ready for putting it onto the basket hilt, I always put a piece on the end to cover up the end, and a single layer down there to flush that out and to give a clean place where I'm putting my grip tape. Take on the grip tape. And once again, this is a matter of preference. Some people don't like grip tape and like the raw rattan. Others like various other forms of taping. I just personally like the grip tape myself, so I use it. And we now have a sword blank fully taped and ready to be basketed. Last portion of this is actually basketing it. We'll start with the wire basket, and you're just going to line it up to where you want it to sit. Line the edge so it's up to the front of the sword when you're holding it. And with this one, it has a built-in set of brackets, and all you're going to do is continue to bolt those on. Now with most bolting, interchange as you tighten, that way you tighten it more evenly across the point of attachment. And you want to make sure you get these very well secured, that way they do not fall off. And you now have a single one-handed sword ready for combat. From there, we have the plastic and a slightly more standard one. I already have a pre-made sword for that, and it obviously does not have. And all you do with that is you place the basket where you want it with the clamp attached there. You get your second clamp, and you get it to sit on the top, which I have a little bit tight. Once again, wind the blade front to where you want it. In this particular case, I have clamps that can use a screwdriver or a socket driver. My socket driver falls apart. Again, get these good and tight, that way they don't come off while you're fighting. And these require that you have the clamps themselves actually taped down for fighting to help protect the rattan of your opponent, and so that it does not get damaged. And you have another sword with the varying types, and that's the basics of making single-handed swords with two different baskets for heavy fighting.